10 Most Ideal Getaway Destinations in Delaware. While it very well might be the second littlest state in the country, Delaware compensates for it with its lovely seashores, fabulous state stops and enchanting pilgrim towns. Situated in the mid-Atlantic district of the U.S., it is magnificently assorted, offering provincial locales and far-off untamed life asylums close by metropolitan and industrialized regions. Notwithstanding superb coastline landscape, the state likewise has fascinating memorable vacation spots to look at. Both Dover and Lewes are home to a few great galleries. Colonized and settled hundreds of years prior by Europeans, these towns have alluring engineering and attractive memorable homes to visit. The principal reason that everybody visits, notwithstanding, is for the capturing Atlantic seashore. The delightful seashores of Bethany, Dewey and Rehoboth are among the most well-known spots to visit in Delaware. With an abundance of water sports to attempt and peaceful oceanside towns to visit, it ought to not shock discover that Delaware is frequently called the Little Miracle. 1. Rehoboth Oceanside. Charging itself as the country's mid-year capital, the famous retreat town of Rehoboth Oceanside lies along Delaware's Atlantic Sea shoreline. Since it is the nearest stretch of sand to Washington, D.C., it draws in a huge number of guests consistently. Numerous travelers additionally come from adjoining Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. The bright coastline town's champion fascination is, obviously, its rambling sandy oceanside ideal for relaxing, with sublime swimming and surfing to be had seaward. A long wooden promenade has incredible shops and eateries, as well as the fabulous Funland event congregation. The traveler town has a rich history and legacy to investigate as the area was first settled by Europeans during the 1660s. A family accommodating and LGBT accommodating objective, Rehoboth Oceanside positively makes for an ideal summer vacation spot. 2. Delaware Beach State Park. One of the most famous and pleasant spots to visit, Delaware Coastline State Park flaunts lovely seashores and extraordinary open-air exercises. This tranquil and thin piece of sand is sandwiched between Rehoboth Narrows and Indian Stream Cove and the wild waters of the Atlantic Sea. Safeguarded and saved beginning around 1965, the recreation area's wonderful rises and desolate waterfront seashores are a breathtaking sight. Magnificent perspectives can be delighted in over the coves and sea, as well as sunbathing on its sun-kissed sands. Guests can swim and surfing. The safeguarded waters of the inlets are great for both cruising and windsurfing. You can likewise go clamming and crabbing in specific regions, with 2 comfortable campsites for you to remain at. As it in the middle between Rehoboth Oceanside and Bethany Oceanside, the beautiful state park is exceptionally simple and helpful to get to. 3. Dover. Home to bunches of intriguing attractions, Dover is Delaware's capital and its second biggest city. Set in the focal piece of the state, it lies on the banks of the St. John's Waterway, only inland from Delaware Inlet and the Atlantic Sea. Established in 1683, the little city has a rich history and culture, with great landmarks and exhibition halls to be seen as spotted in and out of town. At the Delaware Horticultural Gallery, for example, you can visit around a noteworthy town from the 1890s. The Biggs Exhibition Hall of American Expressions likewise has fabulous artworks, pottery, and figures to scrutinize. Downtown are dazzling shops and eateries, with a gambling club and clubs likewise on offer. The city additionally has the marvelous Firefly Live event every June, as well as thrilling NASCAR races at the Dover Global Speedway. With such countless various attractions, Dover surely has something for everybody to appreciate. 4. Dewey Oceanside. Arranged on a dainty piece of land between the Atlantic Sea and Rehoboth Strait, Dewey Oceanside is a well-known spot to partake in some water sports. The Little Shoal local area is additionally known for its dynamic nightlife and unrecorded music seen in the late spring months. Other than offering extraordinary skimboarding and wakeboarding, the little town has wonderful wide, sandy seashores to relax on, with swimming and surfing to be delighted in seaward. Many individuals go stream skiing around the cove, while guests who go sailboat cruising may try and catch a brief look at dolphins. Regardless of its little size, Dewey Oceanside wakes up in the late spring months. Then, at that point, its eateries and bars are stuffed and renowned demonstrations in groups play in and out of town. During this season, its comfortable bungalows and condos are normally brimming with partygoers come to partake in the unrecorded music, and families' expectation on taking advantage of its expansive oceanside and fun water sports. 5. Bethany Oceanside. The little oceanside town of Bethany Oceanside in the southeast of the state is an extremely serene and beautiful spot. A lot more settled and calmer than other traveler resorts along the coast, it flaunts delightful seashores. The Great Delaware Beach State Park additionally lies close by. Named after wide Oceanside embraces the sea, the enchanting waterfront local area has rambling sunburned sands to sunbathe on. In addition to brilliant swimming and surfing, a splendid footpath has magnificent shops, restaurants and frozen yogurt stands to look at. An entire host of occasion homes and oceanside houses are close by to remain in. Its midtown region is spotted with stunning fish cafes and gift shops, ideal for a calm end-of-the-week escape or a bright summer getaway. Bethany Oceanside exists in driving distance of both Dover and Sea City. Would it be a good idea for you? Need greater fervor and diversion? 6. Bombay Snare Public Untamed Life Asylum, lining Delaware Cove. Bombay Snare Public Untamed Life Shelter lies a short drive from the capital of Dover, home to probably the biggest excess mudflats, wetlands and flowing salt swamps in the district. The shelter is a treat to investigate. Because of its impeccably saved environment, a huge number of transient birds go during each time for reproducing and resting. Laid out in 1937, its wild and remote spans have gone about as a shelter for wintering waterfowl relocating along the Atlantic Flyway. All that from ducks and geese to shorebirds, petals, and bald eagles can be spied inside its picturesque limits. The recreation area is especially famous with bird watchers. Other than abundant birds, the shelter likewise has wonderful paths to climb along, with perception towers specced to a great extent. At its guest place, you can realize about the set of experiences, nature and untamed life of the shelter. 7. Lewes, a charming spot to visit. The little shoreline town of Lewes lies along a beautiful stretch of Delaware Inlet. The main site in the state to be settled by Europeans, it displays alluring English and Dutch engineering. Splendid seashores and the astonishing view of Cape Henlopen State Park are close by. Established by the Dutch in 1631 as a whaling and general store, it has since formed into a well-known occasion and resort objective, with a determination of fine cafes and lodgings. You can find out about its legacy at locales at the Zwannendale Gallery. Guests can likewise take a visit around its attractive memorable homes, wharves and streams. Specked about its interesting roads are numerous superb workmanship exhibitions to look at, as well as little specialty stores. You can likewise go on travels or fishing trips around the strait, with terrific perspectives on offer from each point. 8. Wilmington, settled in the upper east of the state, is the refined and cosmopolitan city of Wilmington, the biggest and most energetic in Delaware. Situated at the intersection of the Christina and Brandywine waterways, it has a flourishing expression scene, with a scope of fascinating and noteworthy memorable vacation destinations. Regardless of its somewhat little size, the state's business accommodating regulations have seen the city nicknamed the corporate capital of the world, because of many enormous organizations that base their central command there. Much obliged to some extent to this flourishing area, many shops and eateries have jumped up around the midtown region. The winding riverfront is likewise an incredible spot to partake in a dinner and a walk. Notwithstanding its shopping and eating, Wilmington has a few extraordinary exhibitions and nurseries to meander. The magnificent Delaware Workmanship Gallery is one of its champion sites. Established in 1638 as a Swedish settlement, large numbers of its notable destinations connect with these early pioneers. With the lovely Brandywine Valley and awesome wineries and beguiling wide open close by, Wilmington surely has something for everybody to appreciate. 9. Cape Henlopen State Park. Lying at the entry to Delaware Narrows is the beguiling Cape Henlopen State Park, home to pine backwoods, wetlands and dunnel fanes. Set on the eastern edges of Lewes, it has superb outside exercises, with climbing, setting up camp, and bird watching being especially well known. Surprisingly enough, the stunning seashores and jagged shoreline that line the cape were among the principal public terrains to be laid out in the entire of the states. Safeguarded beginning around 1682, its exquisite scene is very much saved, and numerous types of shorebird live inside its wild reaches. Other than sunbathing, swimming and surf fishing, guests can come by the site's coastline nature place for drawing in and instructive displays on the recreation area's untamed life. With hypnotizing dawns and nightfalls over the Atlantic from the re-established WWII Perception Tower, Cape Henlopen State Park is certainly worth visiting assuming you get the opportunity. 10. Fenwick Island State Park. Set in the southeast of the state, Fenwick Island State Park isn't a long way from Sea City's all's thrilling attractions in adjoining Maryland. Home to untainted and immaculate nature, it flaunts delightful seashores. Sunbathing, swimming, and surfing can be in every way delighted in along its picturesque coastline. Safeguarded beginning around 1966, the recreation area's superb rises and sun-kissed sands are on an untainted isle, sandwiched between Little Assawaman Sound and the Atlantic Sea, extremely wild and lacking in examination with the clamoring oceanside towns that lie to one or the other side. It has absolutely shocking landscape with divine views, due to its pleasant nature and nearness to Bethany Oceanside and Sea City. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.